My name is Herb Stratford, and I am the project director for the Teatro Carmen theater restoration. We applied for a Heritage Fund grant to help us with that project. The facade basically is composed of two elements. It's the Teatro Carmen you see behind me from 1915 and the Black Elks addition from 1941 that is right next door. Basically, over the years, a number of things had happened to the building. We actually found a photograph from 1917, so we knew what it looked like early. But basically, the three arches that you see behind me, they had been filled in and reduced in size over time, and all the historic brick had been stuccoed over several times, and then different coats of paint had been applied over the years. So basically we had to, number one, we had to find period material. So we found some material that was from the same era, and we were able to secure that, thankfully. And then we had to basically rebuild the arches because they were not in any great shape. And then also we're replacing the windows on the second story that had been sort of rotted out. But also it was interesting, when we took the stucco off, we weren't sure of the integrity of the brick underneath it. And we found, for example, we found a place where they had nailed up all the old posters when there were shows here, and little bits of the posters were still attached. So we pulled those little pieces down, and we could actually go back through the newspaper archive and say, oh, this is from a show that took place on September 3rd, 1917. That's pretty cool. You're seeing a little bit of the new brick. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some materials that you'll never exactly match it because of the erosion, what has happened. But I think once it's done, people will be really impressed. So the Black Elks building, when it was built as a it was one of their two clubhouses in town. And the Black Elks were actually here from 36 to about 86. So they were here much longer than anybody else was. So there's great history with the African American community here, along with the Hispanic community. But this was really the heart and soul of their clubhouse, was this new addition. This building, Teatro Carmen, basically both sides of the building, the Black Elks and the Carmen space, were featured prominently in a 1994 movie called Boys on the Side. So a number of the scenes, you see them on the outside of this building. So the film company, they did some set dressing. They created the mural that's on the top of the Black Elks building. They painted the name Carmen on the building. They painted it yellow, trying to make it look what they thought was more authentic barrio, even though it was probably authentic barrio before they got here. Another really wonderful thing about this project is the Ronstadt family is supporting this project. Linda, who visited probably about 8 months ago, she's convinced that her Aunt Louisa performed on the stage. Lalo Guerrero lived about a block and a half down the street. This building has such important legacy roots to music and to Tucson. So that's really exciting for us to be able to sort of bring that back and to sort of reestablish those connections. And so I think that's something that's really important. We worked very closely with SHPO to figure out what was the best opportunity for us to access dollars, and we found that the facade really fit nicely within their Heritage Fund criteria. So there is a conservation easement on this property right now, so once this facade is done, it is going to be impossible to alter, which is really important for the neighborhood, which is being declared a National Historic Landmark District probably by first quarter next year. It's been really great working with the SHPO office. Number one, when we first started this project, right around when COVID was hitting, and I reached out to the office and I said, hey, we're working on this project. Would you like to come down and see it? And a whole bunch of the staff came down, they walked through, they got very excited about the possibilities. And it was the possibilities because of the preservation angle. It's really a time capsule to a couple different eras. And also the unique cultural history of this building being Hispanic, African American. There was a Chinese market on the corner that's part of our project. This is really a total perfect example of the melting pot that is Arizona and the barrio in Tucson. The Heritage Grant was for $300,000, but it was a really big boost for us to have those funds available, and also to sort of have the SHPO involved with the project lends another element of acceptability. Thank you, Arizona State Parks and Trails, for your support of the Teatro Carmen.